You ready? Are you ready for your preview? Yeah, it's been a while. Alright. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I'm here with Zen the Mustang, and I know a lot of people have been asking me what happened with Zen. So I'm going to start picking up with my video blogs kind of where I left off, but first let me go ahead and explain what did happen. As you can see, it is January 2022, and I am standing here with Zen, which means she did not go to a new home with the New Jersey Extreme Mustang Makeover. Towards the end of September, the Mustang Makeover was moved virtual due to COVID, and it just kind of sapped every bit of energy that I had of desire to compete in that competition. Not because it's not a good competition, and not because the virtual Mustang Makeover wasn't going to be good for some of the Mustangs to get adopted, but because it meant that I would not get to interact one-on-one with the person who potentially bought this horse. We were not moving at a speed where we were going to be super competitive in the riding stuff. I have ridden her a few times, but she's really tense under saddle, and I know why. There's just some steps that we rushed through for the sake of Mustang Makeover that would lead her to being more relaxed, but we rushed through them. So she was pretty tense under saddle. She'd throw bucks in from time to time. I don't like riding bucks, so then I would dismount and work with her on the ground. So we'd get like 5 minutes of riding in, dismount, work on the ground for the rest of the time. Not really the kind of thing where I'd want to take her and try and do 5 to 10 minutes of videoing, because there's no guarantee we could get through that even, you know, perfectly without bucking, but then the whole pattern. So we weren't going to be doing very well in the competition already. And on top of that, even if we did the competition for the sake of finding her a home, I had no idea who would be bidding. I don't get to meet them and talk to them like I would if I'd gone to the actual competition in New Jersey. So I pulled Zen from the Mustang Makeover and I adopted her. No, that doesn't mean she's going to live out her days with me, but it does mean that I have the chance to work with this really cool horse for as long as I want. And what I really want is to work with her until we get through all of our ridden work and I feel like she's really confident under saddle. And then I want to find her a home with someone who's willing to have a conversation with their horse. I actually think that we've already found someone who might be interested in her, but of course, you know, they have to come meet her first. But ideally, we're going to find someone for Zen that has sporting ambitions, something in the English world, and she's a pretty cool horse, but you may have noticed from all of our video blogs that she has absolutely no interest in love and affection. That is just not her jam. She doesn't mind it, she'll tolerate it, but she does not want to go out and live in someone's pasture and be their lovey-dovey trail buddy like some Mustangs do. She wants a job. And when I start working with her, she gets really, really interested, especially when we go out into new places and she gets to try out the skills that she learned in a new place. That is the thing that has always built her confidence the most in my training program. So going out and being a competitive trail horse, an endurance horse, an eventing horse, a fox hunting horse, anything like that is going to be what she wants to do with the rest of her life. So that's what I'm looking for her in the future. The other reason the video blogs stopped, so that's why we dropped out of Mustang Makeover, and now my plans for Zen. And now the reason the video blogs stopped, I'm not going to complain to you much, but essentially the video equipment that I was using died. And it was so bad that we had to send it off to the factory to get totally, what ended up happening is I got a full rebate for it, but they were going to try and fix it for me. End of the story, long process. I ended up getting a full refund for my video equipment, had to reset up my video equipment. Because of the issues I was having, I lost over a month of video recordings that I fell behind. So I've always worked about 2 or 3 weeks behind on my videos. So what I do is I take the SD card, upload the files to the computer, save them, and when I can get to them, I get to them in a linear order. Well, with the video problem I had, it was coding everything in an unreadable file format. So everything from the end of October all the way through September, or the end of August all the way through September, all of my Loki videos, all of my Zen videos, they were unreadable. The files were gone. There's nothing I could do to get that back. And unfortunately, when I realized that, I only had Loki for 2 weeks left at that point, Loki was leaving. So I did not get to even finish my Loki series. Fortunately, Zen is still here. So after Mustang Makeover ended, I turned her out into the big pasture. She's no longer in her little Mustang pen. She's actually in a normal pasture with another Mustang who's been domesticated for about 10 years now, and that's her buddy. And she lets me catch her, she lets me groom her, the farrier comes out to see her. Her feet look a lot nicer, as you can see. But really, I put her out in October, and aside from grooming her and bringing her in for the farrier, I haven't touched her in about 3 months. And the reason for that is because we did, in fact, skip some steps. And so I really wanted to make sure that with Zen coming back into work, I was going to restart and go through some of those things that I rushed over. It's not even so much that we skipped everything, it's that some of the steps that I taught her were so paper thin that it wasn't the kind of thing I'd want to build a foundation on. Give me a second, we got a horse messing with the camera. Get out of here, go, shoo. I know, yeah. So I have my camera set up and there's a horse on the other side of the pasture that wants to come and knock it over. So I want to go back and I want to make sure all those skills that Zen knows, we're going to revisit stuff she's already done before, but maybe she's only done it 5 or 6 times. I want to do it many, many more times than that. I want every bit of her foundation to be as solid as I've said that I wanted it to be from the get-go. And that means not just teaching it to her well, but continuing to revisit it repeatedly. So Zen's with me today, and this is the part where I cut to the video montage of all the work that we've been doing and what we're going to do in the future. And I hope to start picking up where I left off, revisiting the steps that I have done in between the last video you saw and where we're at now, just so that you can kind of see how I got to those points. And then we're going to carry on and basically treat her like she hasn't been ridden before. She's so tense about it. I mean, it's still baby rides. And go up to the point where she's being ridden. Hopefully we can get some of that video down in my arena, because I am working her in the arena on most days, but the only independent video setup I have is in my round pen, so we're going to be working in the round pen today. All right, you ready, Zen? Very good.